Officer. I'm absolutely delighted to speak in this debate on International Women's Day to talk about inspirational and amazing women who have shaped our society and contributed so much. As we've heard from all sides of the Chamber today, we've come a long way since the days when the suffragettes and suffragists fought so hard and sacrificed so much to win the right to vote. Something we all now take for granted, and even my generation can't believe it was once denied to us. But today, along with talented and world-renowned women, I'd like to give credit to the inspirational women who don't make a name for themselves with their inventions or their heroic deeds. And we've heard a lot about those women from other colleagues in their speeches. Presiding Officer, inspirational women are all around us in our everyday lives. For me, my gran and my mother were amazing influences on how I grew up, which I know is not unusual. Their values and unconditional love gave me the security and values from which I benefit to this day. However, as we know, not all children have the good fortune to grow up with inspirational role models in their lives. And that's why the more we learn about ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, the more we can help people live happier lives. Presiding Officer, for several years I wrote a feature called Forgotten Heroes for a magazine highlighting the amazing contributions largely overlooked Scots had made to the world throughout the centuries. However, I had to dig long and hard to find profiles of Scottish heroines, of which I knew there were many. This has sadly been the case until recently. Women were virtually airbrushed from history. Women like Elsie Inglis, founder of the Scottish Women's Hospitals, Ayres Marion Gray, a mathematician who influenced the telecom giants of today, geologist Marion Gordon from Aberdeen, zoologist Muriel Robertson. I could go on, Presiding Officer, but time won't allow, and my colleagues Gail Ross and Gillian Martin mentioned a lot more. Thankfully, this anomaly is changing. And it's great to hear about Gillian Martin's excellent project. A few weeks ago, I visited a school to record a video with pupils aged around 12 to 14 to talk about inspirational women. They're also holding an event tomorrow to celebrate International Women's Day, which I'll be attending. I was asked by one boy who my inspirational women were. After I'd mentioned family and certain politicians, I said Rosa Parks, the First Lady of Civil Rights, who refused to give up her seat to a white passenger on a bus in Alabama in 1955. I honestly didn't think they would have heard of her, but to my delight they all nodded and said they were doing a project on her at that time. The next question I was asked was if I could bring back either suffragette Emily Davidson or Jane Haining, who saved thousands of Jews during the Holocaust, who would it be? An impossible question. I told them I honestly couldn't choose because each had contributed so much, but it was fabulous that they knew about these wonderful women. So where are we today? Well, we're getting there, but there's still a long way to go in our fight for equality. So it's entirely fitting that a statue of Mary Barber has been unveiled today in Glasgow. As we heard, she led thousands of women through the streets of Govan to fight for fair rents during the 1915 rent strike, and campaigned for women's access to reproductive and sexual health, a social pioneer and inspirational woman in the truest sense. Presiding Officer, today the Scottish Government has a proud record of promoting women's equality, such as ensuring greater pay transparency, increasing early learning and childcare provision to record levels, and working with the Equality and Human Rights Commission to challenge pregnancy and maternity discrimination. We're also setting ambitious targets to increase the gender minority share in the most imbalanced college subject groups and modern apprenticeship frameworks, improving women's representation on boards through the introduction of the Gender Representation on Public Boards Bill and the Women 50-50 campaign and other initiatives. And so today we fight on to banish the gender pay gap, gain equal access to the boardroom and finalise equal pay claims. We fight on for an end to sexual harassment and bullying at work. We fight on for an end to violence against women. We fight on for our rights to LGBT women and for free sanitary products and much, much more. Presiding Officer, these things should not have to be fought for. They are our rights, and in 2018, gender equality and respect should be a given. So we will not give up until that is achieved. So today I'd like to celebrate all women, mums, grans, aunts, sisters, carers, women who are an inspiration to someone, somewhere. And to the many amazing women who work in the third sector, such as Dr Marcia Scott of Scottish Women's Aid, Karen McCluskey, Chief Executive of Community Justice Scotland, who have done and continue to do such crucial work in protecting and improving the lives of women. and there are many, many more women in the third sector who really deserve a shout out. We should celebrate how far we've come, but know that there is much more to do so that our daughters and granddaughters are shown the respect and best possible future that they deserve. Then our work and that of our pioneering sisters will be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much.